Now, we knew Joe Biden liked to skinny dip in front of the Secret Service agents when he was VP, but this weekend, Joe Biden let it all hang out on the South Lawn. He threw a big gay pride party at the White House, and they freed the nip.
Welcome to the White House.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Year. Happy Pride Life.
Can we take a little video? Hi, Mr. President. It is an honor. Trans rights are human rights. Oh, it's a video. Oh, it's a video.
Are we topless at the White House?
Oh, so they basically opened Hunter's laptop on the South Lawn. But that wasn't one of Hunter's friends. The Flasher's Joe's friend, Rose Montoya. And the Flasher shatters. That's right, the Flasher's trans. And if you're trans, you can do whatever you want. If you shatter, you can do whatever you want. No shoes, no shirt, no problem. Now, if this was going to happen on any White House, I mean, my money would have been on the Trump White House, but no. The trans Flasher happened on Biden's watch. Now, who put together the guest list? Was it the same people who vetted the guys we flew out of Afghanistan? Now, everybody knows there are certain places you just don't flash. Church, school, funerals, probably the White House. Women can't flash at the White House. Men can't moon at the White House. But if you're trans, anything goes. And not only that, Biden called the trans Flasher a hero.
We all talk about courage. Well, I see more courage in this lawn than I've seen in any time in the recent past. You're some of the bravest and most inspiring people I've ever known. And I've known a lot of good folks.
Biden knows Navy SEALs, police officers, and Hunter's cleaning lady. But a guy who got breast implants is the bravest person he ever met? I got back surgery last year. Nobody called me brave. Children step over needles to go to school in San Francisco. They walk through gunfire on the South Side. They're not the bravest. Biden's inspired by the trans Flasher? Does the trans Flasher regret exposing himself to children at the White House?
First of all, going topless in Washington, D.C. is legal, and I fully support the movement in freeing the nipple. I decided to join them and cover my nipples just to play it safe because I wanted to be fully free and myself. I had zero intention of trying to be vulgar or be profane in any way. I was simply living in joy.
Trans Flasher, it's fine. There's no rules in this administration. There's no border. There's no debt limit. There's no inflation. New gurus can steal luggage. First sons can smoke crack on camera. And the president can take foreign bribes. The trans Flasher represents decency.
What is on the ballot here is the character of this country. Decency, honor, respect.
Man boobs at the White House. Moobs. Now, when Trump bought McDonald's and Burger King for the Clemson football team, the media covered it like crazy. The media called him trash. But the trans Flasher isn't trashy. When Melania put some red Christmas trees up in the White House, the left called it creepy. The trans Flasher isn't creepy. Now imagine if one of Trump's guests got naked on the lawn. I mean, if Kid Rock mooned America, they'd still talk about it. But only trans Flashers can moon. Now the Biden White House, after 3 days, said the trans Flasher, you ready, is no longer allowed back at the White House. Finally, Joe Biden drew the line somewhere. Except the trans Flasher is allowed in your kid's kindergarten class and at any underage drag brunch in the country. Apparently, the White House now has standards. Your kid's class, they're not allowed to have standards. Let's bring in Kirk Cameron. He's an actor and activist who's hosting a Brave Book Story Tour at libraries across America.
Great to be with you.
As it is to be with you. George W. Bush wouldn't even walk into the Oval Office without a blazer on. Now we got a trans Flasher. What has changed, Kurt?
This is the kind of immorality and disrespect that characterizes this sad and confused group of people. And dragging kids into this evil morass is criminal. And I see that as I'm going to public libraries doing story hours for kids. And a little lesson from history, Joe Biden raised the pride flag in violation of U.S. flag protocol. George Washington raised the humility flag during his presidency. As the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army in 1775, he raised the flag of humility with the phrase, an appeal to heaven. And if we want to get America out of this mess and on the right track, we've got to replace pride, which is all about me, with humility, which is about God and one another. That's why I'm writing these books, like this one, Pride Comes Before the Fall, teaching kids about humility and kindness. And
what does that mean, pride comes before the fall?
This is actually quoting a scripture verse: pride comes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. It's better to be humble with the lowly than to share plunder with the proud. Kids need to understand that pride is the pregnant mother that gives birth to all forms of evil, because it's about myself and about me. Humility is about others, and that's where their blessing is.
You mean pregnant person, Kirk?
You know what? I don't adopt the lexicon. I'm going to stick with reality. And
we talked yesterday. There was a guest who said that this trans thing is now a religion. If you don't accept it, you're canceled. It is, in a way, like a religion, because they're basically forcing you to accept whatever it is they believe. Why is this the new religion in America?
And not only that, the public schools have become their church, where our children are daily indoctrinated, and parents are dogmatically commanded to sacrifice their little hearts and minds on the altar of wokeism while we bring our tithes and offerings in the forms of taxes. Parents need to rescue their kids from this corrupt cult before their progressive priests circumcise them or go all the way and castrate them through a gender transition surgery. That's why it's so important what you're doing and what others are doing to teach kids good values. And that's what I keep doing as I'm doing these books for kids in public libraries. And people can get my book for free if they go to bravebooks.com.
So this guy, born a guy, became a woman, got breast augmentation surgery, Kirk. Joe Biden says that's brave. Do you think that's brave?
That's an abomination and a disservice and disrespectful to the brave men and women on the beaches of Normandy. And my grandfather, who was a Navy corpsman fighting with the 4th Marine Division in the 24th Regiment in World War II on the battle at Iwo Jima. Bravery is a call to courage to do the right thing, not to violate morality and undermine the very foundations of America.
I think we're changing the definition of bravery if we're calling the trans flasher the bravest person Joe Biden has ever met. Maybe it is brave to flash at the White House. Maybe that is brave, but you got to have some sort of formality, a little respect for the people's house. Isn't that what they always say? This is about respect. Yeah. It's got to go both ways. Yeah. I'll give you the last word.
Thank you. I think we've confused freedom with liberty. Freedom has taken on this idea that I can flash my moves and I can do anything that I want. Liberty, to our founding fathers, was the freedom to do what I ought, to do what is right in the eyes of God, and that's going to be a blessing to you and to your children. We need to get back to liberty and get rid of this license called freedom.
Arrest your opponent and praise the trans flasher at the White House. I never expected this from the Biden administration. I should have seen it coming with the